Alright, hey guys, Cold Car Loopy here. So today I'm going to be going over a few things with Stronghold Protocol because I need to make a video this month. And I tend to still make a Cryo Military College video for the Thorns Alter event, but I still think I should make something for Stronghold Protocol because my friend was asking about it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's coming out in 9 hours, so I should probably at least make something for it. Stronghold Protocol, for those who don't know, is one of the newest game modes that we're going to get. It's a mini game mode right now. It goes on CN. It's nothing too crazy, but the main thing I want to get across today that people need to understand about this like mini game mode is like how to play it. I yapped about it on Discord and I'm like, hey, I should make a quick video about this maybe. So I'm going to make a quick video on it. Okay, so we're just going to go through this quickly. So in Stronghold Protocol, I'm using Keo's footage. I hope he's okay with that. If I'll take down the video, love you, Keo, love your guides. But like, when actually playing Stronghold Protocol, basically it's like auto chess. When you're actually going through the game mode, ignore my videos on the side, don't worry about any of that. But when you're going through the game mode, essentially because it's auto chess, you have to make sure you're looking over like what enemy formations are coming, how your units are going to work. If you played Project Neural Cloud, it's basically like that, but like not as complex. You have operators part of different tiers, you use your operators, they automatically activate their skills, they help attack enemies and shit, you know, all that crap. The waves get progressively harder over time, so you need to find ways to combat them, whether you through stalling or through DPS, typically DPS, because you see right here, this is what being dog shit gets your team. Don't worry about it, this is just how it works. So, again, we'll go into this little by little. So there's 3 things to look out for. There's, hopefully the mouse can, is the mouse picking up my mouse? Okay, it is, good. So, you see there's operators, there's equipment on the bottom, then there's what I'm going to call the garage. It's called a barge, I think in CN, but I'm just gonna pretend that's what the name is. So you see, you and the enemy have shields and lives, so when you deplete the enemy's lives, you win. They all go down by blocks, players go by blocks, so once both sides blocks lose, once one side loses, you lose. You see how the enemy has like 5 blocks and everything, so every time you defeat like a wave, you defeat like half a block, so basically it takes like 8 to 10 waves to fully defeat an enemy. Enemy formation slowly gets stronger over time. They each feature, like each faction wave features a unique boss of their own, like Ice Shooter over here. And then there's also Frozen Monstrosity from IS that shows up eventually too. So again, enemies have a general idea of what they are. So you see like there's like the Yeti Squad, Ice Cleavers, there's the Berserkers from Silver Ash's event, you know, Razor Fangs. I don't know why Trilby Asher shows up. I guess he's just here for fun. I didn't actually see him in my runs. I don't think I ever got that far to do that. But as well, when you play Stronghold Protocol, you get some passives to work things out. Passives will help you give additional things, like the initial one of Kalze gives you 70 shield, and you get extra stats, but you know, enter Protocol, enemy attack power, max health reduced by 30%. There's lots of things that can help you, but you'll only unlock most of these squads by playing hard mode, which is called Core Protocol. And that's where like, a lot of the interesting squads are. This game mode really doesn't incentivize playing hard mode, so that kind of sucks in my opinion, but more on that later. Anyways, you see how Cruz has a little 1 next to her? That's her tier 1. So, in Stronghold Protocol, your operators are split up into 6 tiers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these operators are preset. Now, if you don't have this operator, they are swapped out with a reserve op variant of some kind. The 3 stars for the first 3 tiers, and then all the elite ops for the last 3 tiers. So you see like Piff, Radiant, Sharp, Mechanist, Stormeye, Misery, Tulip, Touch, you know, all that jazz. Fun stuff. So now we have elite ops for every class, which is really cool, especially the 3-star ops. So we can expect them to come up in the next IS in some way. Now, if you do have the operator, they will replace their reserve op variants. So, for example, if you don't have Winar, you would get Sharp. But if you have Winar, even if he's E0, he at least will still be E1 or E2, depending on how the game mode gives you him. But the main thing to look out for is like, oh, if I raise my Winar, he actually will get some additional stat bonuses and everything too, which is pretty nice. But it's not required you have these units raised, just that you have them. Like, on my CN account, I had an E0, like, Asbestos, but the game still gives me an E1 max Asbestos to upgrade and use and all that. So that's pretty cool. A bunch of other stuff. If you want to pause and look at all this stuff I yap about, it's fine, but it's not too important. There are also equipment, which is similar to, like, Integrated Strategies Relics, where they give different buffs for units or for classes. Operators can only hold up to 2 equipment at a time, when you have your 2 equipment slots, you can't get rid of the equipment on the unit unless you either sell the unit or you promote them, in which case you can redistribute the equipment. How to actually get operators then is where you get to the garage or the barge. I'm going to call it the garage for the rest of this video, but in the garage, you see you have like a selection of operators, then you have this option to upgrade the garage, you have a credits limit over here, so you can only get certain amount of credits per wave. You can refresh the list if you don't like what you see, or you can freeze it to use the selection next wave if you feel, oh, I want to get Moose, but I don't have a second copy of Moose, but I want to get the second copy, but I'm out of credits. So I'll freeze it now and then wait till the next wave and get Moose again. On hard mode, you start out with 5 credits, so you can only like upgrade the shop once and then like get an operator. Just so you know, upgrading the garage only upgrades each tier. So when you upgrade from tier 1 to tier 2, you now have access to all tier 1 and all tier 2 units. I don't recommend you go to tier 6 just yet, because like don't gun it for tiers 5 and 6 all because the strong ops are there. Like a lot of the early ops are still really good at what they do. Having Kara, Manticore, Ashlock, Meteorite, Kazemaru, Ash Jenny, Lapland, Silence, they're all like really good ops that can carry you well into late game. And you can get like maybe a tier 5 or tier 6 unit. Like you can get like Euros Montes or Golden Glow or Gnosis. And like they'll be fine, but you have to actually like, you can actually make use of the tier 3 and 4 ops a lot and get some serious value out of them. To actually promote an operator, you need to find a copy of them multiple times. So you need to find, I believe, up to 3 copies. I want to say that's correct in my head. So let's say if you want to upgrade Cruise from a tier 1 Cruise to a tier 2 Cruise, you can't go any higher. I believe it's only up to tier 1 or tier 3, something like that. You can only upgrade once. But when you do, you not only upgrade them so they get some additional stats. So for example, upgrading from a tier 1 to a tier 2 makes them, if you can, E240. They get their rank level 7, and they get their first module. Then, if you have like a tier, the only way you can get like a max tier mastery in modules by getting like a tier 6 unit. And again, you can only get specific tier 6 units. So, just something to keep in mind. Because again, the roster is very static. You can't change it. You also get some stat boosters if you actually raise the unit prior to playing this. So if you have like an E260 like Gnosis, wow, you get some extra attack, defense, and HP. But thankfully, it's not required in the slice, which is very nice. Even if you have like an E0 copy of the unit, they'll still get that unit. You can also slot 2 6-stars of your choosing in the tier 5 and tier 6 slots. So on top of these 10 units, I believe it's 10, yeah. Or 8. On top of these 8, you can slot in 2 more 6-stars for your tier 5 and tier 6s. And again, it can't be the unit that's already on the list, so you can't have 2 Ulpians, but you can have like Lapin Alter, Ifrit, Arketo, Vulpus Folia, Wishadel, you know, stuff like that. And after each enemy wave, enemies only last for a certain timer on the map. After the timer ends, a poison haze will appear, which will slowly kill both you and the enemy. So it's like sudden death. Whoever outlasts who wins. Typically the enemies survive because they have a lot of HP. I don't believe it's max HP based, the poison, but if it is, it's pretty balanced on. But that's the point. Whether you win or lose, you can see, shows your operator, shows you like your equipment, you get some extra points, and it's not that bad. Now, there are 3 difficulties, but I'm really going to say there's only 2, because there's tutorial, which doesn't count, it's tutorial difficulty. There's normal mode, which gives you pretty normal stats, but like, normal mode specifically isn't very helpful because normal mode kind of fucking sucks. It says the health for each faction, they give 5 funds allocated per round, one extra for each round up to 12. But like, you don't even get many certification points for this, and you can't even unlock most of the squads or do most of the activities, which actually give you a lot of extra points. You have to play hard mode, which actually gives you a lot of stuff, and actually gives you a lot of like the extra squads for doing tasks in hard mode. But like, because of how it's all set up, you're basically be only playing hard mode, and hard mode isn't really fun either because hard mode is a lot more difficult. Enemies have increased stats, increased initial caps of their stats, and like you get less initial funds the first round. And also, it's reduced by 2 and all that. And like again, the garage has higher early game costs, but it has less later game costs. But again, I just don't recommend it. Not that I don't recommend it; it's just bullshit. That's all. I rant about it here. If you want to pause, you can read it. But like, there's a lot of problems I have with this. Where essentially, if you start losing waves, you're gonna keep losing. It's a very frustrating mentality. So like, Kyo loses here, and he has to basically battle like a different set of enemies, or either the same set of enemies even sometimes. But like, the enemies keep getting stronger, Meanwhile, your operators don't. And you kind of have to Hail Mary it at that point, and you kind of have to hope, like, you get some really good unit that can win the squad. Otherwise, again, you just keep losing. This is my biggest problem with Stronger Protocol, where if you don't start strong, you're not going to end strong. You're just going to lose, because enemies just keep getting higher and higher stats. It just keeps happening. You also can see, like, I hope the camera can pick this up, if I'll show an image later, but enemies basically have a path where they keep following the gates. Something like that. It's something like this. Where all enemies will eventually follow the same pathing, and sometimes there's multiple paths, so they'll all go through the same paths and all that. It's a little weird. But yeah. So if you lose one wave, I guarantee you're going to keep losing the wave, and it's a very frustrating feeling because, again, it's auto chess, and you can't really control that at all. Which is the appeal, I get it, but I also find it very frustrating because it's like there's not much you can really do then other than just flop over and die. It's a very frustrating process, in my opinion. But yeah, there is that. Other than that, there's a few more notes I want to give before I finish up. I'm pretty sure this recording's already going on 10 minutes. Jesus Christ. I'm not even going to bother editing this because it's horrible. Okay, like, if you use J, DP actually matters. If you don't use J, DP means fucking jack all. Don't worry about a Vanguard. DMS is useless here, unless you have 2 Js on the map. Even with 1 J, you don't need DP. DP is only here for J, because J is the only DP-related operator here, pretty much. So DP is useless. Everything in red, if you want to take a screenshot, I recommend are like good picks for general early game DPS, AoE, arts damage, crowd control, like Manticore and Kara, or just general high damage, like Spectre, Katamaru, you know. Like, you want units with good utility. Those in blue are still not bad options early game if you have them, but there are better options, basically. Like, Silence is really good, probably the best medic, essentially, early game, until you get, like, Luna or something. And then just don't focus on the tier 5 or 6 ops because they're kind of too hard to get. Even if you keep upgrading the garage, it's not generally worth it because you're going to be overwhelmed by the extra enemy stats. And you have to keep upgrading ops to make use of it. Like, if you upgrade the op, congrats, you get an E2, you get a free equipment. But again, it's not really too important. It's kind of stupid. But again, you should E2 ops. That's what I'm saying. But don't E2 the 5 or 6 stars. Just keep, like, upgrading these ones, like the weaker ones. They're really good still. And yeah, use Golden Glow S1. Don't use S2. S2's dog shit. Equipment and operators can be, like, upgraded and all that, so you can give them to specific operators. Duck Squad shows up halfway through. After the first 2 waves and then halfway through your run, you'll get additional passives, which give extra buffs. It's like, oh, if you kill an enemy, your ops get extra stats permanently, or it's like you get extra deploy limit or get extra currency or stats, stuff like that. But yeah, what's wrong with shit? I find Stronghold Protocol fun, but I also find it very frustrating. Mostly because hard mode's clearly the way the devs want you to play it. It's like, why even have normal mode? It's like Mega Man 2. Like, why even have normal mode if hard mode's clearly the original mode? And most of the squads here can only be unlocked through hard mode, or most of the fun squads at least. Hummus is not a bad squad though. I do recommend using this squad. It's a pretty good one because you get extra funds at random, or extra funds for every 30 enemies you kill. So that's pretty good. Cal's it's pretty good. Basic squad if you want like something basic to work with, because extra stats. And yeah. Otherwise, it's a fun mode, but I feel it's mostly held back by some basic design flaws. My biggest issue with it is just the fact that it's like, oh, you can only have a specific roster of operators, which is fine, but I feel if they're going to give you the option to pick 2 random 6 stars of your choice for the tier 5 and 6, they should, I feel, at least give you some agency in how you actually use the, like, give you more op choices. Why do I have to be stuck with Asbestos? Asbestos sucks, no offense. I'm not going to make a... I'm not gonna make a video on why she sucks, but she's like really mid, but not awful. But again, like there's other options I want to pick. Ashlock and Horn are really good here, and most defenders outside of Hoshi and Saria and Mechanist, the rest of them all kind of suck. Matterhorn's useless, Beagle's not really neat after their first few waves, stuff like that. You don't really want to be stalling, you really want to be killing things quickly. But that's all. I hope I have some music going along with this. Stay breezy. I'll see you all later in like 7 hours when the thing goes live. Again, I felt like it was at least important to make some video for it. But yeah, bye-bye.